Hey guys, Stealth here. Welcome back to Ranked. Today I'm using my Eurocore Ranked deck, and today I'm going to be actually making a plan for what I want to do, as opposed to the previous gameplays that you've seen. Now, we are here in Plungent Valley, one of the maps that I've played a lot. Not lately that much, but I used to play this a lot. This area in Foxtrot would be nice to have, but I don't think I can reach that in time. So instead I'm going to hold up in Foxtrot there. It's not going to be a significant force, at least that's the initial plan. Towards the middle of the map, I believe that this sector is vital for map control. If you can place AA units here, if you can try and capture these buildings with HGM infantry, you can make do with controlling a large area of the middle of the map and possibly pushing a CV in there, neutralizing their main alpha zone. Bravo, I don't find that important, nor is it easy to capture from either end. So this is going to be a skeleton holding force over on the left. Main force, middle, skeleton forces, Fox and Bravo, so I can still divert my main force to either direction if I need to. Not running with a fob in this deck, I don't particularly find that I need it. And with 16 Mankati 6x6 I should have enough units to hold on to that zone and not be too worried about losing, with resupplying my units. A couple of infantry units that way, again not too many. I don't want to be spending a whole lot of units there. I even have some reservists in this deck, so I can spread those out along the middle of the map, cover the tree line there. And towards the left side I'm going to be putting a Leopard 2, a recon unit, let's see, this is the cheapest option that I have. And for a support unit I'm going to go with a Gepard over there. The middle of the map is going to be contained with infantry, groups of Heimatschützen or reservists. I'm going to also mix in a couple of legionnaires, a couple of recon units. Again, they are all quite terrible, but in numbers they should work. A couple of AA units, one for long range anti-airplane warfare and a shorter one for helicopter warfare. It gives me 115 points in reserve. I'm going to be spending a little bit of that on a recon helo, fly that right down the middle. If I lose it, then that's not really a problem. I just want to have a look at what this guy has, what he might have that I need to counter. And with this, I think I have everything that I need. I know that I don't have any units defending my main CV. That's intentional, because I can always get those units fixed later. They don't have to travel the long distance. So I'm going to put a couple of Heimatschützen around my CV, as well as a Fliegerfaust when I can afford it. All AA units are going to be commanded by the 5 key, and these units are going to be directed this way. Let's see if I can get one recon unit to be in a slightly forward position over there. Drop them off and pull back. HGM unit right there. That's one of the recons, that's the other ATGM. He captured Alpha, so he's going to be leading with a +2. That's fine, initially. Looks like he's going for a helo rush left. I'm seeing a Sokol and a transport helo. And down the middle, we seem to be coming up against quite a bit of infantry. But at least now I know what I'm up against, so I can start to counter it. There's the Chasseurs. And the Heimatschützen are going to cover the other end there. Offload. There, he's already deployed. And what he deployed is infantry and something else. Let's see if I can get the infantry back to the building here. Hopefully the vehicle is going to cause enough diversion so that I don't have to particularly worry about the infantry. This sector of the map might be lost at this stage. That's okay, he can have that if he wants to. So long as I can command the middle of the map. Heimatschützen all over the place, legionnaires, I want the BGS forward. The other BGS are going to move forward that direction. Gepards and legionnaires this way. Mortar VTS to take up position down the middle and support. Transports assisting here as well. Looks like the right side of the map is reasonably well defended. Let's add some AA there in case I'm going to be attacked by a helicopter. And hopefully that area is well defended. Left area of the map is not that well defended. And let's drop off some of the infantry here. Create a cordon around my main base. CV heading to Delta to neutralize the income that he's giving. Legionnaires pushing up. Need to make sure that my AA has a clear line of fire, which at the moment it really doesn't. And here's the first contender. A couple of transports, presumably empty. Presumably there just to scout out what I have. Let's add a Leopard 1A4 for increased tank offensives. And there's a bit of a gap here in Delta. We need to work on locking that gap down. So I'm going to place a Lux and a Leopard. As for the other end, the other Lux is already on the way to reinforce this sector. And I want to send one cheap BGS unit, let's say as far forward as possible in order to neutralize that. Alright, so I have a decent amount of control over the middle. It's just that Heimatschützen are not that much of a match against the infantry from the Eastern Bloc. And that could be a problem. These Legionnaires can lock down some part of the road, but not enough. I want to have better HGMs around this position. As well as another unit of AA, because I know that there is a helicopter operating nearby. I've spotted a Sokol and a transport helo, and I don't really know what other units I might encounter there. Short of the FJB, I spotted those. Let's split these guys off and start sacrificing them. Have a look at exactly what they have here. There's the Salamandra and a Sokol. Salamandra is almost in range of the Roland. There's the infantry. Pretty decent at the elite level. Yep, it's LSTRs. Not unexpected. First priority for me right now is to knock out his reconnaissance so he no longer knows what I have. And then try and push something close to the LSTRs to start challenging their position. The other AA unit has to come up here. And that is what you get when you forget to turn off your AA. But I have a few to replace these. Okay, so that was the first bit of skirmishing. So far, it is going according to plan. Sokol is pushing in closer. And the coordination here is a bit off. Because the Sokol is pushing into my Heimatschützen without me having a clear answer to that. Let's push the CV into this zone. Heimatschützen are suffering heavily. Not surprising. 2300 meters should mean that I'm in range. If only this guy would not go down this far. No, he's down too deep. I can no longer detect him. And he managed to fly a helo around him. That is not what I was expecting. But it is something that I should have seen coming, of course. Come on, Roland. If ever, now would be a good time to be able to nail this Mi-24. Let's try to get the Crotal back here, ASAP. Hold. Come on. CV, please stop so I can command another unit to come in here. Looks like he's encountering a bit of lag. Ping up to 9,500. But he's still here. Save up for another CV and send that CV over to Fox. Where's the Crotal? Crotal nice and fast, being a wheeled unit. should allow me to neutralize this Mi-24 that's harassing my base. Hit. Miss. 2 missiles left. I only need 1 more hit. And this thing is no longer an issue. Come on. You can do it. There you go. Thank you. Now, this Grotal is no longer required to come back to base. It looks like he might be massing forces over on the left. So I need to start paying attention to those forces there in order to reinforce this position, as well as build map control towards the middle. I know there's still a bunch of FJBs in there, and with the Sokol so close, it's going to be tough. Oh, that might have been a CV. It's going to be tough to neutralize the infantry that's in there. And I can assume that there's an air response waiting for me. Alright, time to start using this investment. There's a helo coming in again. So I have a leak over to my left. That's the problem. Because he's trying to do it again. And by the looks of it, he might get away with it again too. Hit. I need to fly in a helo. This is a bit of an expensive helo to fly in, but it will work. And it looks like the Gepard was able to take it out. Still, I need to keep this Grotal close, get it resupplied, and make sure it has all the units that it needs in order to keep firing. He has now captured the left, bravo. And he has a recon unit somewhere nearby, because he saw my ATGM unit. Let's see if the BGS can get a bit more vision. There's the capture. He's trying to go for my Gepard here. See if I can bloody his nose a bit. Yep. More than a bit, actually. Gepard is no longer needed to shoot it down. There we go. That's the target. Start neutralizing his reconnaissance units, because he has a few too many of those. I'm not really happy about that. Leopard 1A4 to cover the left flank. And... what was that exactly? It looked like I got sniped by something. I lost Fox, so he's pushing in a CV there as well. I'm not surprised if he captured this position. And that leaves him with not too many possibilities for his command unit. So if I can get the BGS a bit closer, possibly help out with the Fuchs, then I might be able to find the CV and take it out. That is not quite the kill that I was looking for. The unit is not dead. There is Specialnies coming in. And I think they might stop about there. A bit further forward, I need to extend my AA umbrella to cover that unit as well. I'm going to pick a Grotal, because the unit that I'm expecting here is either a helo or an airplane, and this thing can do decently well against both. So they destroyed a Fuchs, but they didn't destroy the BGS. That is interesting. Now, pushing a CV into Bravo is not going to be easy. Ah, motor shoots have arrived. He's reinforcing this position. He does not want to lose this area. That's unfortunate, because it's still going to happen. Once I get my mortars in place, I can start pushing on this position. And start getting those FGBs, or sorry, the, what were they again, the Legionnaires? No. The LSTRs, I need to get those out of the buildings. Okay, so there's something in there. Presumably Granatomets. That would be my bet. I need more infantry support here. Or support for my infantry. A recon unit has been detected and killed off. So that is courtesy of, I think, those spotters in there. Now my legionnaires are taking a brunt of it. Surprisingly, he's not using the Sokol. That is interesting. Su-25 comes in. I'm not sure why he's playing with an Su-25, because I have quite a decent AA umbrella here, as he just noticed. There's more Specialnies. My mortar should be coming in right about now. I need to suppress this position, and then move to push up. As for my BGS, hopefully together with a Leopard and possibly mortar support, I can kill off the command unit over there and neutralize his advantage, because he's already 150 points. As well as, once again, extending my AA umbrella to counter a helicopter threat and an airplane threat. This thing is hovering low. I don't believe I'll be able to do a lot of splash damage to it. Especially not if it starts moving. Pull back a bit. Smoke it and relocate. Left flank is covered and secure. Looks like we got counter artillery going in. Yep, they're hitting the Cortal. Let's get a couple of resupplies in. Push. Take that building. Once again, an Su-25K comes in, and once again it gets shot down. So I'm not really sure why he's wasting all of his high-priced aircraft like that, but he possibly thinks that my AA isn't as good as it is. And he was able to spot that tank. Come on, Legionnaires! Push in. There's the recon squad. Now I can kill it. Ooh, that was close. Come on, into the building. Well, the Heimatschützen dead. There's my Gepard. Can you hit him? Not quite. Legionnaires are inside the building, but the LSTRs are quite good at killing off infantry. So I'm not really too hopeful about being able to take this structure, not with the infantry that I have. Oh, come on, Sokol. I need you to cycle up a little bit. Okay, that push did not quite work out. But I have been able to neutralize a few more of his units. Especially the recon element is important. Let's add these to the recon, or to the AA umbrella. Need you to resupply that Crotal. That did a fantastic job, I must add. And I'm going to try and snipe the CV that he has on this end. Which I'm presuming is over there. And until I can get eyes on it, that's the best assumption that I have. You should be inside the building. My martyr is being spotted. So is the BGS, so he has recon probably in here. Let's see if I can invite them to fire. So my mortars can... Yep, I think I neutralized... or at least pushed his CV out of that position. Temporarily, presumably. Yep, Specialnies. And there's the Snezka that I bloodied earlier. Okay. Mortars are engaging that position. Get some more reconnaissance units in. And so long as I'm not losing points, I'm decent. Now, as you may see, I'm not actually playing to win. I'm playing to not lose too badly, which isn't really a good strategy, but I'm trying to train myself up in map control and planning ahead instead of just responding to the enemy. This is bad, I have no recon. Gimme a recon helo as a quick solution until the infantry arrives. Seems to be mostly relying on high-price infantry. Oh, Sneska. And I might be able to abuse that. I could go in with a bomber, but it's a bit of a high-priced unit to go after one Sneska. So that's not really a good solution. There's an Mi-17 coming up, as well as a T-55 Dyna 2. Sorry, Dyna 1. But there are two of them. And I think that that's going to be the counter to my infantry assault that's gearing up to go. Yep. There's the additional recon group. There's the recon helo. Keep eyes on the enemy. Let's see if I can snipe one of the Dynas, so that hopefully the Jaguar at least... sorry, the Leopard at least stands a chance. I'm gonna have the Chasseurs and the Heimatschützen getting ready to go. Jaguar does not spot any radar-guided AA, so that's interesting information. That is not a problem. Now let's hit the Sneska. The other infantry has arrived. With the FJB there, I'm not too optimistic about being able to capture that position. What I can do is neutralize the infantry that's coming up here. We're gonna also need the Leopard on this end. Sneska's panicked. Infantry ready. There's also a couple of BMPs. So he definitely has a decent amount of infantry in there. Move up. Provide fire support with your main gun. Need you to smoke out this area. Whoa, first off, move out. I'm gonna start taking autocannon fire and fire from the TA, from the Groms. There we go. Push out the infantry. That might very well be a command unit. LSTRs. Those are so damn hard to kill. Let's fly in and help out with a bomber. Because I don't really rely on my mortars. Not to get a kill like that. Bombs going in. FJB seem to try to counter it, not successfully. Zone neutralized. In the meanwhile, there's still an engagement going on here. Let's see what's going on. Just an Mi-4 by the looks of it. Aircraft comes in. Even if I activate all of my AA, I probably will not be able to counter that one. What level of infantry is he using? Veteran, probably. And my infantry down the middle is getting shelled. Now once again, I have a very large force down the middle that I'm not properly using. That is something that I really have to work with. The investment probably isn't as big as before, but it's still quite sizable. And it is still causing me to lose more units over here than I have. Let's activate the AA. DHS is slightly out of range. Those LSTRs. How would you counter LSTRs in this deck? Other than sheer bombing runs. Also, my infantry down the middle has died. So I need to push more infantry in there. DHS is backing up, or attempting to. Gepard attempting to close in. Looks like the Dynas are also coming into party. Hit. Leopard 2 is arriving just in time there. Careful. 912A, that's a napalm bomber. And that's Seed. The Leopard 2 took a massive amount of damage from the napalm there. I believe that his AA is not radar guided. Leopard 2's been destroyed. Damn it. I was gonna really use that. Come on. Out of curiosity, let's have a look at the left flank. Because he doesn't seem to be doing that many ops there. But I believe that he still has a decent amount of units there. Let's see if I'm right. MI-17 got countered there. This is a problem. The only thing I have to counter that is a Peace Rhine. My Tiger Hap with rocket pods is not really that much of an asset here. Peace Rhine, try and save the Grotal. A couple of targets here. There's the AA, so that's probably the FJBs. And I think that I saw the CV heading in there, but it's not certain. One dies. The other one's perfectly calm. I need to wake him up a bit with some rocket pods. 15 minutes left, and I don't really see myself turning this game around. Just keep him there, lock him down with rocket pods, and nail him with the Leopard. He's still stunned. Engaging from multiple directions. Let's see what he's facing. He doesn't really know what to face. Inefficient. Out of rocket pods. Pull back before he gets shot down. Leopard 2 coming up. The 1A4 is hard pressed to penetrate the arm on the Dyna. It's not likely to win that. He's randomly shelling this town, hoping to get a CV. So he may be just about as desperate as I am. I'm going to send a small strike party over the right flank. See if I can hit another command vehicle, potentially from the side. Although this Sokol is not going to make my life easy. I'm going to send up my recon party. Get a bit more confirmation on what he has down the middle. Fox lost. So once again, he's been able to pull a command vehicle in there. Once again, I'm assuming that it's over there. So much for the Dyna. His recon is still really good here. So he knows what I have and where I have it. Bombs going in. AA response. And yet another CV down. Excellent. So that advantage didn't last for very long. But I don't have any units to start pushing back at him. And I really want to try and get the infantry out of there. So I can focus on neutralizing the area. And getting my own infantry there. So much for the peace Rhine. Skirt the map edge. Try to come in from behind. So now my 4. Presumably hovering low. And what do we have here? Another Dyna. Interesting. 160 points. Looks like it might be time to go for an air response. Not sure why he pulled those things out. He might have seen something. You're out of supplies. Let's get that back up. Right, so how do we neutralize the infantry over there? Bunch of chasseurs. And mostly I think a bunch of medium-range guns. There's the 1A4 again. Squaring once again off against the Dyna. But I think that I have the recon advantage. Come on, hit him again. Nope. Hover high. Go back up. See if we can take this strategic little bit of tree line. Dyna once again surviving. Leopard 2 did take a good hit from the Dyna. There we go, now he's down. Can we resupply? Repair the Mankati? Meanwhile, push my own recon forward. This Gazelle is a bit too fast for the unit that's escorting it, the recon. Okay. So he has ATGMs back there. Presumably backed up with AA. Or actually those... No, that was heavy AA. Let's see if I can give this guy a run for his money. If he forgot to take out the AA or to switch it back off, then I might be able to take one out. He is active. Yep, it's a double Niwa battery. But it's... For some reason the Jag isn't firing. So these things are actually not active. Dyna is now engaging the Leopard. I'm going to counter those with a couple of gazelles. Not tigers. Tigers are too expensive. Especially for that job. Give me a tornado, fly it all the way around. Through here and then there, and that's where you're going to hold. He already knows I'm here. Just had to dodge a couple of missiles there. So he has something that can fire upwards, presumably anti-air infantry. Also known as FJBs. There's his AA defense. And there's his CV. Even if I lose this bomber and get the CV, that will slow him down. I hope though that the bomber is going to make it in time. There's the bombs. He's moving the CV around, or attempting. I think I got it. So finally, for the first time in this match, I'm actually getting positive. There's the LSTRs. I'm completely out of bombers. But if I can get a Tiger there, it can potentially support me with rocket pods, although Now at that range it is already going to be able to neutralize me. Grotal scored a kill on the Sokol. Lost both gazelles as I wasn't paying attention. There's another Sokol there. And he resecured Charlie. So either he brought in another CV, or he potentially had a double CV there. Charlie is still on the move. Hold. Hold, hold, hold. You're going a bit too aggressive here. Mismanagement. We're dealing with infantry. Yeah, bunch of motor Schützen. Let's fire the mortars. I want my Leopard 2 to engage those Dynas and win. There's Specialnies. Engage those. You need to get to this structure right now before you're gonna get suppressed. So much so that we cannot move anymore. Let's get one supply unit there. Keep it firing. All the infantry's died, courtesy of the LSTRs. I really don't have an answer to those guys in this deck. That is a significant oversight. Motorschützen were able to take out all the infantry. And with 6 minutes left and a massive fallback in points, this game is screwed. I need the infantry out of here. Sending in a bomber at this stage normally wouldn't be very careful, but I don't think it makes much difference. This is going to cause him to have some more losses here. The thing is, I cannot send in a recon helo, and these guys have pretty good stealth. So they're able to stay there, not get detected, and survive. Now they're jumping building. Heimatschützen once again, facing a lot of Motorschützen. And I'm floating too many points. Okay. It doesn't really matter that much what I do at this stage. It's a GG anyway. So we're done. Let's see if I can get this guy. He killed off my CV. Yep, that was the last straw. That was the FJB that were flanking me. Let's have a look at the replay. Kills 1670, losses 2145. Not too bad. Conquest points only 11. This time I decided to go for investing in units and not so much in command points. And that is costing me games like this. Let's see what the stats of this guy are. He's played a lot of games. Sergeant Major. He played 121 ranked games. With my 7 or 6, I'm not sure. That many ranked games? I don't think that I did that bad against him. My Milans were able to take out some transports. I completely missed that bit. Very nice and courteous of him to not actually say a word before he leaves, but whatever. Look at that. This tornado took out 3 of his UAZs. The first two in the command zone over to my right flank and the last one in his base. So he had 4 CVs left, if not more in his deck. I'm not entirely sure about that. Let's have a look at the replay. Of course, loading my replay folder takes a while. I'm not sure if this is the same with you guys, but for me it just loads everything back to, I think, June 2015, so quite a while. There we go. Okay, switch it to neutral. Let's speed it up. Let's see what his opening is. That's something I'm really curious about. Because he seemed to go quite fast towards Bravo. And as I mentioned at the beginning, the one who gets Bravo first, or normally it's a standoff here, but he managed to get here first. Which is an interesting play, but it's quite an investment in forces. 55 points in only the helicopter, with FJBs, Sokols for support, in case I was doing a helo rush on the opposite part. So this is something that he's done before. And a Salamandra for recon. Towards the middle, couple of transports. Looks like AGS got there right away. Infantry and a recon. And... aha. That's where it went wrong for me. I overestimated his presence in the Foxtrot zone. I thought he would have way more. He just had 20 LSTRs and 20 special, 10 specialnies, not even 20, 10. Down the middle, 20 LSTRs, recon, and the AGS. His main focus was on Bravo, the zone that I thought was not too important. So next time around, I can make a deck, or I can adjust my deck so I have a couple of units that are airborne and that can be traveled to, let's say, these buildings quite fast. The advantage that he has is that he gets both the LSTRs and the FJB, which are such nice multi-role units. He can engage air and ground threats alike and go up against infantry pretty much toe-to-toe without losing. And if he does, then he's going to be able to get infantry in again soon, whereas I also have to deal with the helicopters. So this is where he encountered my BGS. And where's his Salamandra? It's pretty far behind. Salamandra has very good optics, so it doesn't need to be that close. Let's see what he can see. Yes, it worked as expected. He can see the Fuchs, but not the infantry. So if his helos and his infantry are going to engage anything, it's going to be the Fuchs, so that the infantry survives. So that plan actually worked. Then his Sokols engage my recon helo, which rapidly goes down. The Leopard 2, combined with the Gepard and the infantry, was not bad, but of course it couldn't engage infantry. And I had expected him to come in with motorized, so just ground-based units, along this route, so that the Leopard could have slowed them down. And the Gepard, I would have expected to take down helos, but I just was not aggressive enough with this Gepard. The Sokols, and probably even the Mi-24Ds, would have been pretty easy meat for the Gepard. But I chickened out and pulled back. Over towards the left, he's doing a bit of force recon with basically no units. A couple of transports that he had lying around. And what is he investing his points in? So he started out with 2 CVs, one back there and one in Alpha. That's put him in exactly +2 right away. Seed comes over. And now I understand which helos were flanking. It's these. These were going around the treetops, around the mountain tops, and then coming back into my base. That's the problem. So once again, defend your position, but not just with infantry. Also go at it with some more AA. A Gepard probably wouldn't have been ideal. This is when he pushes in more forces. Salamander to scout out the middle. SPW with more infantry. Is he aware? Yes, he is aware of my push here. This is my first push. That worked out terribly. They managed to kill one LSTR and that's it. Over to the left he's pushing in a Snezga, relying mostly on the recon of his Specialnies for the moment. And then once again, these are multi-roll. Anti-ground, anti-air. And just borderline overpowered, because even if they only have the STG, their assault rifle, they can still do a massive amount of infantry damage. He pushes in more AGS, as he's probably responding to my infantry push down the middle. That's when the helo comes in, and I desperately struggle to get the helo out of there. Helo goes down. And yeah, I did get it the right way. He did push in a CV here. And I could have probably quite easily bombed the CV if I wanted to. I may have lost the bomber, but it would have cost him yet another CV. And the income from Bravo. So next time around, just focus fire on whatever you think might be a CV. And I thought that the play for putting a CV back, or not actually back here, but front here, right up there to my front line, is an interesting play. Because normally we'd expect it back there. You can see he even cordoned off this area with a bit of Motorschützen in order to deter me from trying to flank. And it's a bit of reverse psychology. You would expect a CV there, so instead he's putting up right up the front, where it is quite vulnerable, but also the least likely to be sought after by my own recon forces. Here comes a CV. Switch to neutral. CV parked in a predictable zone. Specialny pushing into the middle. I did like hunting down his recon units. It did, at least in my mind, cause him to have a little bit less map awareness. Although I'm not sure how well it actually worked out. LSTRs moving to flank. I think it was this bunch of merry men who managed to go around and kill me in the end. That's probably the guys who were coming after me. He napalms. This is also a clever play. He didn't just napalm here to nuke my infantry, but also to force me to pull back, buying him more time to presumably either buy units or get some more units to the front line to reinforce and hold. Leopard's doing a bit of a dance. UAZ takes some fire but doesn't take damage. The Jaguar didn't find anything. And that Jaguar didn't find anything because there wasn't anything. All the AA he had was the LSTRs. I like this deck. LSTRs, FJBs, moving for mobility, and rapid deployments, as well as multi-role infantry. Sure, they're expensive, but if you can get quick map control and push in some CVs here and there to exploit that map control, then you can do stuff like this. Here comes my push onto Foxtrot. You see the LSTRs are taking losses, but against 20 chasseurs they only took one casualty. That's how good these guys are. Another bit of napalm comes in. Nothing I can do against that because my AA umbrella didn't extend that far. Although my AA was way better than it was last time around. Dyna pushes forward, gets deterred by a Peace Rhine. I liked this push, or counter. Although it was only a 65 point unit, the HAP was able to lock it down and stun it, so that the 1A4 was almost able to take care of the unit. Unfortunately not quite. There comes another UAZ, neutralizing the zone and gaining him another +1. He reinforces. The Peace Rhine came in. I'm not sure why I brought the Peace Rhine in. When did he see these? Is the question. He didn't. I think they came in between the LSTRs and the mountaintop there. They took a sort of S-curve there. The LSTRs didn't fire. And he was basically very, very patient there, getting these guys all the way around. But so far, I actually may have forgotten about them. They're not actually pushing, they're just sitting there. But that's when the damage was already done. He puts a double Niwa block down the middle, shoots down at least one jet. That's when the aircraft comes in. I neutralize his base. Aha! There's another command group. This thing was probably... it was standing by for something. Presumably here. Presumably here. How many ground CVs did he have? I think I killed 3. 1, 2. So he may still have 2 UAZs left. And this is the end of the game. Okay. So lessons learned. You can quickly take control over Bravo in Mudfight. In case you have the right units for the job, and the FJB seem to be a proper unit for the job. I'm not sure what would have happened if I would have pushed here harder than I did. We were basically staring at each other for the entire match over towards this end, and it didn't really do either of us any favors. The middle of the map is harder to engage than I had expected. The Heimatschützen, while decent at recon duties, basically stumbling onto an enemy unit and hoping that I can keep them alive long enough before they die to actually do some spotting. They're not good against any kind of elite infantry such as this. Over to the left, if you keep these buildings under control with elite infantry, then it is really difficult for me to get in. It was at least with this deck, and I don't think that Panzer Grenadiers backed up with Marder 2s or Fallschirmjäger would have done much better, because getting there was the problem. Bombing it was not an option, artillery fire was not that effective, and they were so well concealed inside their buildings that fire from Marders or other fire support vehicles was not efficient. Aside from that, I did like my recon, I did like my AA umbrella. I think that it looked pretty decent. I had the Roland there, Crotal, Gepard, but I need to buy a Gepard or some sort of defense units for Echo. His defense was a Sopel. He's even pushing in a Moderna soon. He has even invested in 2 on Davos to shell positions that he might think that my units are in. Alright. Well, I say that concludes this ranked game. Definitely a lot of lessons learned. Way better performance than last week, because I was much better prepared. I thought about this deck a bit more than I did about the Commonwealth, which was basically adjusted from what you guys recommended. And next time around I'm going to be trying to play Red 4 with the FJBs, with the LSTRs, and mainly going for elite infantry, because that's what he's using. Specialnies, LSTRs, FJBs, some supports, such as the AGS, but other than that he wasn't really using that much infantry. So let me know what your thoughts are on this game. I hope you're a bit more favorable than last week. Any recommendations are of course welcome, and I look forward to reading your comments down below. Thank you for watching, hope you had fun, hope you learned some stuff, and I'll see you next week for more ranked battles.